Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I just hopped on to do a quick video for you guys. I saw this story trending and I kind of wanted to talk about it. So there was this disturbing story that broke a couple of days ago about this bus driver named Christopher Taplin. But before we jump into the video, I'm giving my trigger warning. Some may find this video triggering. And I am giving my copyright disclaimer. Okay, so let's get into this weirdo-ass predator bus driver, Christopher Taplin. Christopher Taplin is a 33-year-old bus driver for a middle school out of West Baton Rouge, Louisiana. On September 12th, which is one day last week, Taplin was dropping children off at the middle school. Well, actually at both schools. The middle school was his first stop. This is the school that the 13-year-old victim goes to. It is not clear as to why she did not get off the bus as of yet, but he continued to go on to the high school with this young lady still on his bus. When he reaches the high school, the rest of the kids that are on the bus gets off, leaving him and the 13-year-old little girl alone on that bus. Once alone with the little girl, Taplin then proceeds to tell her that he was in love with her. Nothing else besides that happened. The police did question her thoroughly, and she was not touched in any way, but he did express his love for this little girl. After holding her hostage for about 10 minutes, he then takes the little girl and returns her to the middle school and drops her off. But then this jackass decides to call the little girl's parents and confess that he's in love with her and that he has been watching her ever since she got in middle school. So clearly, she's 13. He had been watching her for a while. A direct quote from officials state that it is unclear as to why she did not get off of the bus. This part of the whole situation is still under investigation. Regardless, if he advised her to stay on the bus, she's going to listen to that because he's in a position of authority. After the incident was reported to proper authorities, Taplin then turned himself into the police department. He is currently facing kidnapping charges, false imprisonment, and stalking of a juvenile. Bond has been set at $25,000, along with other conditions like an ankle monitor. Although Taplin operated a bus for the West Baton Rouge school system, he was employed by DS Bus South. The DS Bus South safety team immediately began their own independent investigation. They released a statement saying that the initial findings of that said investigation have resulted in termination of the school bus driver employment. I do know that they are taking a closer look at this man, and they should.
New information about the West Baton Rouge school bus driver accused of kidnapping one of his students. Miranda Thomas has the details and a disturbing message that investigators say the bus driver had for the middle schooler. Miranda.
Greg, police say Chris Taplin turned himself in to the Bruley Police Department Tuesday night. Authorities tell us there are now more families coming out saying they have gained a close relationship with Taplin. Taplin is accused of kidnapping, false imprisonment, and stalking. Taplin, a former bus driver in West Baton Rouge Parish, is now in police custody following claims of inappropriate behavior with a minor. Bruley police say Taplin was supposed to drop the child off at Bruley Middle School, but failed to do so. He reportedly let out all of the other students, but held the 13-year-old girl on his bus. According to police, there is video evidence of her left alone on the bus with Taplin. Chief Jonathan Ladeau tells us she was on the bus 10 minutes longer than the route called for. After he released her, police say Taplin called the girl's parents and left a message saying he'd been watching her since she started attending the school. The audio and video is still being reviewed by investigators. The West Baton Rouge school system confirms Taplin was not an employee with the West Baton Rouge Parish School Board. He was a driver with DS Bus South. DS South sent out a statement that reads in part, All school bus drivers must pass both a criminal background check, which includes a fingerprint analysis, and motor vehicle history background check upon employment. They also undergo extensive safety training. Taplin passed. Police tell us they are speaking with 2 other families of children Taplin reportedly became friends with through his bus route. Taplin is still in custody. A bond has not been set. Police reminds parents to monitor their children's relationships with any adults outside of your immediate families. If you or anyone you know has any information about this investigation, call the Brule Police Department at 225-749-2980.
I don't understand why this clown had any contact with any other children outside of hi, bye, and sit down on the school bus. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't find that appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate for bus drivers or teachers, tutors, anybody in that sense, even ministers, to be in contact with your children outside of the duties they're supposed to be on, whether it's whoever. Just, it needs to be left there. No outside contact. That did not make sense to me. I will be bringing updates on this story. I'm sure more things are going to be uncovered. He's just a weird ass man. Let's switch over to Lamora Whitehead, the self-proclaimed bishop / false prophet. This man is such a fucking clown. Let's listen to the lies and bullshit that he has to say. Once again, he was in front of the 69th precinct in New York.
Yesterday was very traumatizing to me. Growing up without a father, being killed by the NYPD, beaten, strangled to death by 16 police officers, it brought back the memory of yesterday. On yesterday, I was in my church and we had service, regular service. When we had the service, and 2 young ladies, now that we know, have set up a whole disturbance scene because they are following, and they were sent by some bloggers, some media bloggers that are trying to use what happened to me, robbery, to get their following up and to get their content up. And when I was in church, I was preaching, and the 69th precinct, they have officers downstairs in front of my church to make sure that we don't get robbed anymore. The lady, I believe, I think her name now is Tasha, I don't know her last name, and another young lady came into my church, and one of my ministers told them that you cannot record, you can't record, and they began to make a scene. So I told them, let them record. They began recording, and she began to outburst and to cause a big disturbance in my church. So I said, come on over here. Now on the side is where I have people line up for prayer. So she came up over here, not to the pulpit. Everybody keeps saying that I invite her in the pulpit. You have to be a minister to be in the pulpit in my church. So she came on the side, and she began to yell at me. She began to cuss me out and say whatever she wanted to say. I let her say what she wanted to say, and I'm going to be posting more video because you guys didn't see the video inside of the church, so you'll be able to see everything. So she came over, she cussed me out, cursed me out, called me all type of names. I said, all right, me and my church started to pray, and I said, now you have to go, you have to get out, you have to go. What you guys don't see on camera is that she started to walk back to leave, and then she spit back around, and she came back after my wife and my daughter. So I have my wife and my daughter, who's 10 months old, sitting there, and she came and said, and now you're a liar, going towards my wife. And that's when you seen her walk in front of me, going at my wife and my daughter, and I grabbed her. Everybody's saying that I choked her. How can you choke somebody from behind? I don't understand it. I never wrapped my arms around her neck. I have no fingernails, so they say that I scratched her. I don't have any fingernails. I never have fingernails. You can see I don't have fingernails. So I grabbed her from behind, by her shirt, from behind, and by her shoulder. And I escorted her out. And I'm going to be posting this video. I'm going to post a video. And actually, if you look on the blogger, there are two bloggers, Larry Reed and King Jive. All right, these two bloggers, they're nobody, but they're trying to get publicity off of me. They were the ones that sent these people here. So once again, Bishop Whitehead was set up. We are coming off of the eve of me being robbed by 3 gunmen. By 3 gunmen, okay? That's the eve that we're coming off of. 3 gunmen came and robbed myself, my wife, and my church. And the gunmen put a gun in my 8-month-old baby's face, okay? And that's the only thing that I can remember. This lady had a bag under her arm, and she was going after my wife. And I grabbed her and I took her out. I pushed her out, and I have the video. And the police officers saw the video.
He is really annoying, but I'm going to keep playing it for y'all. I just really don't care what he has to say. There is no good reason as a self-proclaimed, as you say, bishop. There's no reason for you as a leader for you to be putting your hands on anyone, regardless of what took place. That was not your place to do. Learn to keep your hands to yourself. Let's see what else this crybaby has to say.
Nobody arrested them. They told me that the detectives was coming, okay? The detective came. Her name was Francois, Detective Francois. And I'm filing a complaint against her. I'm filing a complaint against her because she was the one that gave the order to illegally arrest me. She didn't ask me no questions. She didn't ask the victim. She didn't ask my church no questions. She came on the scene. She had a conversation with the police officers, and she turned around and said, arrest her. Now, let's go back. Let's go back. My minister, once these ladies started to disturb my church, my ministers went downstairs to the offices, and they were sleeping. Okay? They were sleeping. She went downstairs, they were sleeping. And she said, come upstairs, there's a problem. Okay? And the problem was going on. And when I pushed the lady outside of the door, the officers was coming upstairs, and they went right in their hand. However, if they wasn't sleeping, then they would have been able to understand what's going on. I just also posted on my page the women that created this disturbance to show the world that this was all premeditated. It was all premeditated. And what they say was, they spoke to the NYPD and they asked them, are you protecting Bishop Whitehead? And they laughed and said no. They said no. But if you're the NYPD and they're asking you questions about me and I was just robbed, wouldn't you do some investigation on it? And I specifically spoke to the police officers before I went upstairs and told them, okay, you guys, make sure you come up and do your rounds. They never did a round. They never did anything. The same police that was there to protect me was the ones that arrested me. I have knots on my arms because of the handcuffs, and I felt like my father. So they arrested me for nothing. For nothing. I didn't hit nobody, which I could have to defend my family. You charged at my wife and my 10-month-old baby. And how am I arrested? So Miss Francois, Detective Francois, came on the scene and ordered my arrest without having no conversation with me or anything. And I was detained, and I was put right here in the the 6th precinct, where I was thrown in a cage with another felon. Okay, so I was treated like a criminal. So I went from the pulpit to the cell for no reason.
It's the not taking accountability and lies for me, y'all. I'm so sick of this damn man.
If I was a priest, if I was a Caucasian priest, it would have never happened. If I was a rabbi, it would have never happened. And that's why I came with my baseball hat on and my Fendi sweater. So therefore, I believe, and I'm going to do another live later on, I believe that the NYPD do not believe that I was robbed. I believe that they feel that I set this whole robbery up. And I've heard this from the NYPD, and I'm not going to say any names. What's going around in the NYPD is Bishop Whitehead set this robbery up. That's when they all call me. That's when all of the politicians call me. Hey, Bishop Whitehead, I know you have relationships with the street. How can you help us? So everybody want to use me and abuse me, but yet I go from the pulpit to the prison cell because I had to protect my family. And then they come and say, Bishop, we're sorry. All the charges are void, and we're letting you out. After my shoestrings are out, after my belt is out, after the process of me being booked has already been done, you're gonna say I'm sorry? What?
Okay, y'all, I am about sick of this clown, so I'm gonna cut it off here. I'll keep you updated on this story as it, progresses. He needs to be canceled. I don't understand why he's still a self-proclaimed bishop. I don't understand any of it. He needs to be removed from his position in the church. Thank you everyone for coming out for a quick video. I'm close to my community tab, y'all. Like, I've really been paying attention to it. And I can't wait to get my community tab. That's like a milestone. I'm ready to celebrate. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Set it on all so you will be notified anytime I premiere or go live. Be kind to one another and have a good night.
Hey, it's me, unapologetic Quenica, binge for tune and George true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. Hey, it's me, unapologetic Quenica, binge for tune and George true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. It's me, unapologetic Quenica, Hey, it's me, unapologetic Quenica, Hey, it's me, unapologetic Quenica, Hey, it's me, unapologetic Quenica, binge for tune and George true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. Hey, it's me, unapologetic Quenica, binge for tune and George true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe.